I'm sharing some reasons why US moms are resentful, why they're burned out, why they're exhausted, why they're depressed because of extreme burnout. So much is happening for US moms in particular. So I want to just drop into that a little bit in this video. So nearly all moms polled talk about being stressed and overwhelmed in today's world, whether she's a stay-at-home mom or a working mom. And all moms are working moms. I'm just going to state that. Some of the moms that I support, many moms actually share these same concerns and frustrations that a lot of these polls have uncovered. I've been looking up many different kinds of polls as I've been doing research around supporting moms with self-care and boundaries. So stay-at-home moms say that they work 24/7, 365 a year. They don't get sick days. They don't get time off for the most part. They feel like they're on call constantly and that they're whole job is to basically manage the domestic duties and the family. They feel like they've lost themselves. They feel lonely. They feel disconnected. And they don't really feel like they can claim some of the woman that they used to be before kids. So those are some of the frustrations that stay-at-home moms talk about. And I get this because I homeschooled my two boys when they were younger, up until about third, fourth grade. I homeschooled them. So I was just immersed in it. And so I totally get how that feels. And at the same time, I've been a mompreneur. So I understand working moms in their special situation where they feel like they have to balance work and home life. And at work, they're supposed to work like they're not a mother. And then when they get home, they're supposed to mother like they don't work. It's this really very unfair sort of perception of how moms in general need to mother. And they feel a lot of guilt and a lot of shame. Working moms talk about the inequities in the working environment. Not only are they not getting the same amount of pay as a man, but then when they go out on maternity leave and come back, their roles a lot of times are diminished because now they're a mother. They had to take time off, and they tend to be the default parent. When kids get sick, it's the mom that generally runs and handles the kids' issues, takes them to the doctor, or takes them home again if they're sick. They talk about unsupportive HR policies, really unprofessional and inconsiderate bosses, and just the environment in general for moms tends to be really definitely unfair. It needs to change. But these are some of the things that my mom clients talk about. So I just want to share that with you. Mothers do about 15 hours more in domestic duties and family responsibilities a week than their husband partner. When you kind of calculate that out, I remember I read something recently where they said 690 hours more a year is what moms contribute to the household. 690 hours more a year. That is one full month of time, my friend. So if you're the one that's handling the bulk of the load, which you probably are if you're the mother, it takes 1 month. So 690 hours would mean that you would work for 1 month straight, 24 hours a day, handling domestic duties and family responsibilities. That's one whole month out of your life a year that you give to the family. And so some of the terms that are used around this are the mother load, the default parent, again, the one that kind of jumps and handles all the things, and the invisible workload. So some of the things that mothers handle, this is just a snapshot. If you look at this, the cook, the shopper, the cleaner, the event planner, the emotional soother, the family relations, keeping those intact, estate planning, insurance, handling aging parents, basically handling the first year of the infant's life, handling serious illness as a caregiver. This is just a snapshot of what women and mothers handle. And a lot of this is the mental and emotional load it's not considered. That's why they call it the invisible load. So part of what's important is to make the invisible visible. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. So these are some of the things that mothers and women handle. Now, why is this? It's a societal belief that domestic duties and family responsibilities are women's work. And it's time for that to change, because what happens is moms blame themselves. They'll say things like, oh, if I could just get more organized. Really? I think moms are very organized for the most part. Maybe I should wake up earlier. Gosh, I hear this one all the time. Maybe I should get up an hour earlier than I already do, to even handle my own personal needs. A lot of moms get up in the morning and try and do their workout, and but maybe they need to get up earlier so that they can get on top of things, right? Or maybe they need to be better at productivity, and they need to find a new productivity hack or an app on their phone. These are some of the things that I hear women contemplating, but really it's a societal issue. So I love this quote by a woman named Caitlin Collins. She's a sociologist at Washington University, and I just watched a YouTube video. It was through Harvard Business Review, where she's talking about this very thing. And she said, you can't fix a social problem with individual solutions. So that's why I'm here today. I want to share that with you because it's not your fault. Your stress, your mom guilt, your ineffective work-life balance is not your fault. It's a societal problem that needs to be addressed, that needs to be shifted and changed. So some of the things that I really love to promote, and I'm an advocate for this is why I work with women and mothers in particular, is because I want to make these societal changes. I want to change these old paradigms of beliefs that have held women down, that have been a part of this mother load that we all carry. So a couple things. Women and mothers' contributions are valued in the home and in society. The old outdated belief that domestic duties and childcare are women's work, that needs to absolutely be thrown out the window. Kick it to the curb, whatever funny little metaphor you want to think of. I know I'm dating myself a little bit. But this is really, really important. And in fact, one of the I have a book recommendation for you. It's called Fair Play by Eve Rodsky. So if you're finding that you need support in starting to create a more equitable home life, this is a great book. And I'm going to talk about that again in one more minute. Let's go through this. So equal division of labor in the home, huge, huge. Home domestic duties and family responsibilities are a family. The accountability is on the family, not you. It's not the mother's role. Now, you may decide you're going to take that on, and that's okay. But as long as you feel like you have a choice in it, then there's more power. But when you feel like you don't have a choice, or you feel like you're being taken advantage of, one mom said, the kids and the husband just take all the time. Here's where we can stand up and claim and assert our own power, because we're the only ones who can to step up and say, enough's enough. That's it. I'm done. Things need to change. And that's part of it. Equal division of labor in the home. And then in the workplace, equitable pay. Oh gosh, this is just huge. Equitable pay, maternity and paternity leave. I would love for the father to be home with the baby. And the US and Papua New Guinea are the only two countries in the world that don't offer paid leave on a federal level. I mean, that's just like it blows my mind. Why is this not a priority in our society? So better education for HR and management that produces and models supportive practices for working moms. More understanding for the stress and overwhelms mothers face. This is another really big one. We multitask, which burns us out. Because we're so good at multitasking, people tend to ask us to do things, and our job is to say no, first of all, because self-care is a priority. No is a perfectly, what's the quote? No is a complete sentence. I forget who said it. But understanding the stress and overwhelm, because when we're handling things the way that we do and we multitask, and again, that's not good for us. By the end of the day, when you're exhausted, it's because of decision fatigue, because you've been handling so many details and you've got so many plates in the air. So your job is to start to make some changes. So here's what I suggest. Here's what I talk to my clients about all the time, and things that I've personally done myself. That's what I love about this topic, is that I went through my own challenge. I got to the point of burnout that then turned into chronic fatigue. And it took me several years to heal from that. And what I had to do is put myself first. I had to create boundaries. I had to say no with my time and my energy and my resources without guilt. And that takes a little bit of time too. But I also had to understand that I was a perfectionist. I had a therapist tell me one time that I was a high functioning female. And I thought, is that a compliment or an insult? I wasn't quite sure. But I had to let go of my micromanaging, my perfectionism, and my martyrdom. Those were mindsets that I had to let go of. But recognize the tremendous contribution and value you bring to everyone around you. This is so important, my friend. Recognize how much you do. Bring in that self-compassion and self-love, because it has to start with you. Once you do that, then you set the stage for, this is how I expect to be treated. This is how I value my time and my energy and my resources. So that's prioritizing self-care, because remember, stress will wreak havoc on your mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual life. Stress, 80% of disease, they say, is caused from stress. So please don't go down the track I did with chronic fatigue, because that's, sadly, that's where it ends up going if you don't stop and take care of yourself. You don't give yourself permission to take care of yourself and to recognize that it's time for others to step up and help you. So that means honest conversations about the situation, expressing how you're feeling, and talking about a more equitable division of labor. Let's say that 3 times. A more equitable division of labor. A more equitable division of labor. Remember, it's not your fault. Yet you cannot solve societal's issues just by you focusing on how you can be better at certain things. You're doing the best you can, and it's too big for you. Make sure that you're getting people to help you, your family, your partner. So you're going to speak up for yourself at work. If you are a working mama in a traditional corporate situation, speak up for yourself. Set clear boundaries around your time and energy. Moms tend to be, again, really fast and quick because they can multitask, again, which isn't really healthy. But people tend to go, oh, she's so good at that. Why don't we give that to her? Oh, well, you can handle that because you're faster at, no, no. You handle your own, you set your boundaries around your time and energy, and ideally you're working for a company that values work-life balance and isn't constantly requiring you to step up and, oh, we're running behind on a deadline. Can you stay late? Those kind of conversations need to be nipped in the bud. And, that's for another conversation between the two of us. Find like-minded communities and talk about these things. More importantly, start to problem solve. It's always helpful to have that sort of support with others that are in the same situation. That's why I'm here for you, is that I was in the same situation. And then again, educate yourself. That's where, again, this book, Fair Play by Eve Rodsky, perfect way to educate yourself, because she goes into a lot of statistics. But more importantly, she talks about how to solve it, how important it is. And she's on a mission, which I'm super excited about. Same mission as I am. Again, to create more equity, more time for you to have your me time, to find those things that you loved doing before you had kids, sort of rediscovering the woman that you used to be. I know that took me some time as well. Get some self-care and just be leisure. Like, how wonderful to just go out in nature and take a leisurely walk. Or I'm a huge napper. I love to take naps. So how wonderful would it be to take a beautiful restorative nap in the afternoon? Holy moly, right? So that's it for this video, my friend. I just wanted to share my thoughts on this, share what I have experienced through working with my own clients and going through my own journey, my own healing journey with chronic fatigue. This is important. Please, please do some of these that I'm suggesting. Have honest conversations with your family and your partner. Start to talk about what it would mean to bring in more equity into the domestic duties and the family responsibilities. Pick up the book. Read the book with your partner, or maybe you read it first, because you might get a little angry. I know I did when I first read it. I'm like, it just starts to get frustrating. However, awareness is the precursor to change. And my whole goal is to not point fingers, however, to step up, stand in our power, stand in our truth, claim our, be unapologetically us, and say it's time for change. and it can happen one person at a time. So I'm glad you're here with me today. I'd love to get some comments, even share just some of the journey that you've been on as a mom, whether it's stay at home or working or entrepreneurial mom. All moms are working moms. Please, I'd love some comments, and subscribe to my channel, because I continue to give you good stuff around self-care and all kinds of other good stuff. Spirituality is a big topic on my channel. So thanks for being here.